despite the occasional urge to run away. To make a marriage work, we learn to overlook and forgive the things that may frustrate us, like Joe being absent-minded and always leaving his stuff where it doesn't belong, or Noreen being stubborn and always stealing the covers. These two are promising to stick together through all the disorganized Lego, unfolded laundry, and dirty dishes. To support one another through all the bad traffic, annoying coworkers, and bad tissue hands. But marriage isn't all bad. It's also about having someone to laugh with you and ensure you're never hungry. It's having someone who will get your dumb jokes and obscure movie references. This entire wedding's a movie reference. Marriage is having a confidant, a partner in crime, and a best friend. Our first reading is by Dan Isri. Oh.
Scientific Romance, from a poem by Tim Pratt. If starship travel from our Earth to some far star and back again, at velocities approaching the speed of light made Noreen younger than Joe, due to the relativistic effects of time dilation, he'd show up on her doorstep, hoping she'd developed a thing for older men. And he'd ask her to show him everything she learned to pass the time out there in the endless void of night. If they were the sole survivors of a zombie apocalypse, and Joe was bitten and transformed into a walking corpse, Noreen wouldn't even pick up her assault shotgun. She'd just let him take a bite out of her because she'd rather be undead forever with him than alive alone without him. If Joe had a time machine, he'd go back to the days of Noreen's youth to see how she became the someone he loved so much today. And then he'd return to the moment they first met, just so he could see his own face when he saw her face for the first time. If the alien invaders come and hover in stern judgment over our cities trying to decide whether to invite us to the Galactic Federation or of Confederated Galaxies, or if instead a little genocide is called for, I think their love could be a powerful argument for the continued preservation of humanity in general, or at least of Noreen and Joe in particular. If Noreen became lost in the multiverse, exploring infinite parallel dimensions, her only criterion for settling down somewhere would be whether or not she could find Joe. And once she did, she'd stay there, even if it was a world ruled by giant spider priests, or one where killer robots won the Civil War, or even a world where sandwiches were never invented, because he'd make it the best of all possible worlds anyway. And plus, they could get rich off of inventing sandwiches. When the singularity comes, and we upload our minds into a vast computer simulation of near infinite complexity and perfect resolution, become capable of experiencing any fantasy, exploring worlds bound only by our enhanced imaginations, Noreen and Joe will still spend at least 10 to the 21st power processing cycles a month, just sitting on a virtual couch together, watching virtual TV, eating virtual fajitas, holding virtual hands, and wishing for the real thing.
Our next reading is by Colleen Walsh.
Inspired by Carl Sagan. Lost somewhere between immensity and eternity is a tiny blue dot that we humans call home. And yet our species is young and curious and brave and shows much promise. In the last few millennia, we have made the most astonishing and unexpected discoveries. We are constantly reminded that humans have evolved to wonder, that understanding is a joy, that knowledge is a prerequisite to survival. Our little planet floats like a mote of dust in the morning sky. All that you see, all that we can see, exploded out of a star billions of years ago, and the particles slowly arrange themselves into living things, including all of us. We are made of star stuff. We are the mechanism by which the universe can comprehend itself. The world is so exquisite with so much love and moral depth. We should remain grateful every day for the brief but magnificent opportunity that life provides. The sum of all of our evolutions, our thinking, and our accomplishments is love. How on earth can you explain in terms of chemistry and physics so important a biological phenomenon as love. Put your hand on the stove for a minute, and it seems like an hour. Sit with a person you love for an hour, and it seems like a minute. That's relativity. A marriage makes two fractional lives a whole. It gives two questioning natures a renewed reason for living. It brings a new gladness to the sunshine, a new fragrance to the flowers, a new beauty to the earth, and a new mystery to life.
As Neil deGrasse Tyson said, recognize that the very molecules that make up your body, the atoms that construct the molecules, are traceable to the crucibles that were once the centers of high-mass stars that exploded their chemically rich guts into the galaxy, enriching pristine gas clouds with the chemistry of life, so that we are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth, chemically, to the rest of the universe, etonomically. That makes me smile, and I actually feel quite large at the end of that. It's not that we're better than the universe, we're part of the universe. We're in the universe, and the universe is in us. These rings are a symbol for your love for each other. The rings say that even in your uniqueness, you've chosen to be bound together. Let these rings be a sign that love has a substance as well as a soul, a present as well as a past, and that despite its occasional sorrows, love is a circle of happiness, wonder, and delight.
Joe, I had a plan. And it involved 27 pugs and yelling at kids to get off my lawn. And I thought it was a pretty good plan until I met you. It sounds scary. And to quote Jonathan Colton, you kind of ruined everything in the nicest way. You were so good, and you were my friend, and then you were my best friend, and I loved you. And borrow from my favorite novel. Oh, God. Sorry, I was calm earlier. I have for the first time found what I can truly love. I have found you. And so I ask you to pass through life at my side to be my second self and best earthly companion. And in return, I promise I will always love and respect you for who you are, as well as for the person you wish to become. I promise that I will always support your teaching calls and pass you the dragon if I can. And I promise to show you every day that I know exactly how lucky I am to have you.
It's time to put the ring on his finger. This is the bit you don't get to practice in advance. It's your turn.
Some print is always better.
Sweet Noreen, I didn't have so much a plan as a collection of contradictory pipe dreams, none of which were terribly realistic, and yet none of which were even as good as the simple pleasures of friendship and love which actually came to pass. And of all the great friends and family I've been truly fortunate to have accrued over the years, of all the people I've ever known, every fellow human being I've ever met, there is not one who means more to me than you. You were so good, so decent, compassionate, smart, and funny. And I was taken aback that you were interested in being with me, but I am also so grateful. I know I'm a big dork, and I'm asking a lot and asking you to be kind of my co-dork. You really are the absolute best thing to ever happen to me. And I intend to try to return the favor. I, too, promise to love and respect you for who you are and as well as the person you wish to become. I offer myself to you with all my attendant shortcomings and strengths. From this day forward, I will be yours if you'll have me. I promise to support your teaching calls. Always remember to say good night and I love you at the end of the day, and I will mean it every time.
Joe and Noreen, I want to thank you for having me part of this special day. I've known you for so many years, and I'm so happy that this day has come. I can't think of two better people to be together. You've just sealed your relationship by the giving and receiving of rings. You've committed to share the rest of your lives with each other. And now by the power vested in me by the beautiful state of Florida, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss. Mazel tov. May I be the first to congratulate you on being husband and wife. Woo!